I came across a Twitter post the other day about Sam Millsap, a young influencer who flexes on his Instagram about how much money he's making in all of his sports cars. This young man, Jace England, said for the past 6 months, he's owed over $65,000 from Sam Millsap. They've had to pay their reps out of pocket, and he has 5 or more people reaching out every single day about not getting paid. Let's check this story out. Sam Millsap's got a big Instagram, 390,000 followers. He's a builder of online coaches. I think on his Twitter, he claims to be a millionaire. He's got the flash. He's got a few nice sports cars. Sounds like he doesn't know how to pay his team, though. I made a quick chart for those who don't understand this business model. Basically, you have personal trainers. They work one-on-one with clients. Very limited in how much you can scale because you're working one-on-one. Takes a lot of time. $3,000 to $10,000 per month. That's a good income, good stable career, but not much upside potential. So what those personal trainers figured out is that with Instagram and social media, why don't you just coach other personal trainers? I list client 1, 2, up to 100. It's scalable because you offer courses, Zoom calls. You can do a one-to-many approach where your hour of time could be spent coaching hundreds, thousands of people. And so there's unlimited earning potential, which means you could own 3 Lambos. Sam's not there yet. Apparently he only has 2.
Fast forward, November to April, I grow my business from $4,000 a month to $50,000 a month.
Just as I explained, 4 to 50,000. What was really funny about this video is he went in detail about how much experience he had, and I could tell he's trying to stretch it as best he could. And he was talking about the long journey he had that went from $4,000 a month. Then he finally started growing, and he'd been doing it for a while, and it was like 6 months maybe. I'm 35 now, so I can look back on this and laugh. It's funny. In my 20s, I would have thought that's a long time, but I'm thinking like, if you haven't been through 6 business cycles, I probably am not going to take business advice from you, let alone 6 months.
And then I had seen people that were making millions and driving Lambos, and I was like, how do they do it? And I was like, oh, they teach people how to do this. So I was like, that's what I want to do.
I love Lamborghinis, great cars, really fun to drive. However, there's such a meme at this point that these young guys, 21-year-old, they just want the Lambo, and so they go, how does he do that? Oh, he coaches coaches. Let me do that too. Maybe the joke's on me. Maybe I need to flex and become a coach of coaches in order to get my red Lambo.
So from May till now, August, I have done over $1 million in my business. We're on track in the next 2-3 months. This month, we're on track to do 500. Next 2-3 months, we're going to do $1 million in a month.
I'm trying to give you a little backstory here. A guy that flexes on the camera for the Instagram. He's got all the sports cars. He claims of making possibly $1 million in a month. This is a very wealthy young man. Very big success story, right? Losing $65,000 will certainly affect your mental health, but thanks to today's sponsor, BetterHelp, we all can have access to a licensed therapist who can offer us helpful, unbiased advice if our mental health is suffering. I went to therapy a couple years ago when I moved to Vegas because I was socially isolated and feeling really lonely. I think our mental health is similar to our physical, spiritual, and mental health in that we can always be improving. I didn't realize this until I went to therapy, but we can always be looking to get better. A therapist will listen, ask questions, and help you see things from new perspectives. They can give you pivotal advice and techniques to help make positive changes in your life. BetterHelp is doing a great job at making access to therapy easier. Fill out a questionnaire and you will be matched with a therapist in as little as a couple days. With over 7,300 5-star reviews on Trustpilot, BetterHelp is a platform you can trust. The therapist that they pick for you will have plenty of experience dealing with whatever you're going through. Every single one of their therapists is licensed, has a master's or doctorate degree, and has spent over 3 years and 1,000 hours working with people just like you. If you think therapy is for you, you can join the over 4 million people who have used BetterHelp. Use my link down below, betterhelp.com/Spencer Cornelia, or choose Spencer Cornelia during signup for a 10% discount off your first month of therapy. In that original tweet, I saw a comment below. I have hundreds of screenshots of people he did not fulfill for and scammed. This guy, Aaron, actually posted another image, which I'm taking from him. I am taking an image from the internet, so I'm assuming this is true. However, it is a screenshot. A lot of people were asking for refunds with the reason being significantly not as described. I have heard this elsewhere that Sam's program is not as advertised, meaning the people are paying a significant amount of money and not feeling like they get in the value. But this is a pretty clear image. Assuming this is true, there's a reason to believe that a lot of people want refunds and are not getting it. By the way, that's a secret of how a lot of these coaches keep a lot of their money is because they guarantee refunds. And then when time comes, they oversell to a lot of people, get a lot of people to sign up, and then when those people are disappointed, you just block them, never give a refund. Which one do you think is more valuable? The influencer who can sell directly to their audience. They keep the cost of the course low, $200 to $1,000. They don't have a sales team. They don't need to run paid ads because all of their customers are organic, and that means they get to keep about 100% of the revenue as profit. Or on the right side, which is what Sam does and what many of these young kids who make $500,000 a month and drive a Lambo. This is what it really is. They're charging $3 to $10 grand for the service. For the same course, the same information, they got to charge significantly more. It's not that it's more valuable. It's because they have a sales team that takes a big cut. They have to run a lot of paid ads in order to acquire these customers because their offer isn't that great, or they don't have a big audience from the start. And so they might have a 2-to-1 ROAS, which would be really good, I imagine. But by definition, a 2-to-1 ROAS means half of your revenue is ads, meaning it's expenses, meaning it's not profit. So the influencer coach only sees about 20% of revenue, maybe even less, and then after taxes, maybe even less than that. So a guy who claims to make $500,000 a month, very admirable. He's a young man that's very successful. However, I think we're about to see in a minute, $500,000 a month is not what is going into his pocket. So the last question is most important. How is the customer benefiting? The problem with these really expensive high-ticket offers is that the course and the material isn't any better. It's just that you're essentially paying for the marketing and the ad spend and the team that they hired.
Now, Sam is a guy, I don't have any beef with Sam, but I do know the people that he's ripped off for money, and he's ripped off a few friends of mine for money, so this is why I'm making this video. This guy clearly, he had two supercars on finance. What came out was that he tried to sell his Lambo.
I don't know this guy, David, but as I looked more into this story, it sounded like more and more people were coming out and saying, hey, I know someone, or I've been scammed by Sam before. What he was about to say at the end before I cut him off is he's talking about the Lambo. So the next post right here is a text message exchange between the poster and Sam. And right here at the bottom, he says, I tried to sell my STO to a dealership, but my payoff was so high, I really wouldn't be getting anything out of it. So an STO is the Lamborghini Huracan. So one of those supercars that he has. By reading this, if I'm reading between the lines, this is a guy who probably didn't put a lot of money down. He has 5 exotic sports cars, all highly financed, I'm assuming. I'm also wondering how he got these loans. He's all of a sudden making good money. He's gotten all these loans, which, say what you want about low down payment, you still got to qualify. So he was able to qualify for all these. But what's funny is his payoff was so high, which means he probably put a low down payment, which means he doesn't have any equity, meaning we're starting to build up the story that this guy might not have as much money as he claims to have. This was another text message where Sam was talking about, you'll have a watch that I paid $21,000 for. I have a receipt for it and haven't been paid for the other watch, and I'm trying to get these guys paid. Sounds like a guy who is trying to liquidate some of his assets in order to pay someone. I physically don't have the cash in my bank account. So he owes his team $65,000 for work that they did for him, but he doesn't even have $21,000 in his bank account. This is my point, that he's talking about possibly making $1 million month in 2 months. It's like, whoa, $1 million. Oh my gosh, he's probably buying a mansion here soon. Well, no, it's because they have huge budgets and he might have to spend $950,000 to make $1 million. I don't think his entire business is run through school. However, he does have 257 members at $200 a month, active 39 minutes ago. So I'm assuming this is accurate and up to date. That would be $51,000 a month from just this single source. Keyshawn, who wrote this post on Twitter, I believe is who Sam hired to be the manager of the sales team, had a couple of lessons learned from this. People who can barely afford their next month's rent are buying stupid shit instead of paying out their team. Sounds targeted at Sam. Down here at the end, in the third thing he learned, thought this would all get solved as he was applying for a loan to take care of us, but he decided to just stop responding and talk about him buying new cars, which he knows he can't do. If I'm reading between the lines here, sounds like Sam was trying to take out a loan against the business to end up paying for the $65,000 owed to the sales team. My guess is he got denied and somehow was able to get a loan for a car. Another car would mean better marketing, the appearance of wealth, which means it might attract more customers.
Sam Millsap stole everything from me. He stole over $4,000 from a broke 18-year-old who had to take out a loan to pay for his program.
I love the qualifier of broke 18-year-old as if that's not normal. Also, young men out there, please don't ever take out a loan to buy a guru course on starting a business. This young man, Charlie, he explained that the course was very underwhelming for what he was promised. Sounds like he was oversold and underdelivered. Sam acknowledged that a lot of people were talking about him, but he says there's a ton of lies being spread on my name for clout. Only time will tell.
Here's the part that me and all of my haters now are going to disagree on. If I take my car to the mechanic to get it upgraded, and instead you break it to where it does not run, you lied to me about your experience, I will not pay you. Yes, I think the sales reps deserve to be paid. Why did I say I was gonna pay them? Because I've been nice. This has happened to me so many times. I've been overpromised, underdelivered, and I've always paid people out. But this time, I was like, you know what? No.
There's an easy counter to his mechanic analogy. His sales reps helped him make money. They only get paid if they close deals. So he was making money from the sales reps, and he's deciding not to pay them out from the revenue. When you take a car to a mechanic, you're giving it to him and if he does break it, he should fix it, of course, but he's not making you money. Additionally, you, as the business owner, are responsible for all the actions. You don't go to the mechanic and sit there and overlook him because you should be the expert on cars. He's the expert. You should be an expert on your business. And so if the sales reps aren't doing what you want to do, then that's on you. You have to be accountable for their actions because you're managing them. They didn't just all of a sudden, just 5 months later, you didn't keep tabs on them and they ran your bill up and you had no idea.
I spoke with Jace. He's a nice kid, right? Nothing against the guy. But he did promise me, he was like, yo, JP, man, we'll get you $300K a month. And I was like, because in my head, I'm like, brother, I can't even handle $300,000. I can't even fucking handle that at fulfillment. Because what I sell isn't info. It's one-on-one coaching.
Sounds like, from doing some research, that the sales process for Sam's offer, it was very much over-promising. Hey, I can get you to $300,000 a month. Very few coaches can get to that level. Not everyone can. And so a lot of people were sold. You end up paying the high-ticket offer. You're paying $5,000, $10,000. I don't know what the cost is, but generally many thousands of dollars in order to access this coaching because you're sold on, yeah, I could easily get your offer to $300,000 a month in revenue. Why wouldn't you pay someone $5,000 or $10,000 for that? Well, turns out that it's actually a little difficult to get to $300,000 a month.
And he told me, went in, looked at my stuff, and he's like, with your offer, with your proof, with your personal brand, like, bro, we could be doing $1 million a month. Now, first month, very important to know, so we're going to start running ads, right? And Jace goes, oh, I just bought Jeremy Haynes' ads course. Your ads are going to print. Red flags start going off. I'm like, you had to buy someone's course for ads?
That's really funny if true. Someone's promising to get to $1 million a month. Oh, by the way, I just took a course. I don't think that's the case, but it sounded really funny. What's important to note here is that he was overpromised. Let me get you to $1 million a month. So it sounds like Sam was sold on this guy coming in and really helping his business. Let's see what actually happened.
Long story short, we spent about $20,000 on ads and go 0.3 on ROAS. That means every dollar I spent, I got back 30 cents, which is horrible. And it's important to note that I told them, do not increase ad spend until we are positive. And then I texted him, I'm like, bro, why'd you increase it to $1,000 a day? I told you until we're positive, don't do it. So he finally did then turn it back, but he spent a lot of my money without asking.
Sounds like a situation where both parties are wrong. Sam, if we're taking him at face value here, at his word, it sounds like he was trying to manage them and they were trying to run a huge ad budget with no results. Sometimes there's a bad hire. That's why these young guys are so interesting because they haven't really had like a full business cycle yet. They had 5 good months and now all of a sudden they're coaching coaches. This stuff happens in business. Things go wrong. It was a bad hire. Maybe he was a good hire for other people, not so much good for Sam's offer. However, it sounds like both people might have been in the wrong here.
Here's the last thing I'm going to say. I was doing $233,000 a month. They came in. First month did $83,000 on $20,000 of ad spend. Next month they did $50,000, and the next month they did under 50. So I fired them. I parted ways. I fired them.
Remember what I said earlier in that chart is that he was making $230. He's on top of the world. He's going out and get the exotic sports cars, probably leveraged all the way up, renting a big house, really high lifestyle spend. Then all of a sudden that $230 becomes $80. Then it becomes $50, then it becomes under $50. But also notice he said they were spending $20,000 in ads to make $80,000. That means there's only $60,000 left over. But that's just on the paid ads. That's before his team gets paid. I think what happened is Sam all of a sudden for the first time really started to feel the crunch. He went out, leveraged himself. He's got all these loans on these cars. He's got a huge rent on his house. I think he's married too, young man married. And so he's got this big monthly expense. And all of a sudden his income for the first time is going down, 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 down. And he said, uh-oh, I can't afford it. I'm going to justify not paying. I happened to come across another post similar to this situation. Rob the Bank, big influencer, very wealthy, claims to be tens of millions of dollars net worth. Apparently he owes over 30 creators who helped blow up his TikTok shop brands. And this guy owed over $26,000. They've been owed for over 6 months. I saw his response. It was something about they changed the terms of service and the payout's coming, but we got to wait. It's really interesting how these guys apparently have a lot of money, but when it comes time to pay the people that help them make the money, they're, oh, no, we got to wait on the platform. Oh, no, I can't pay you. I'm going to justify it this way. Why don't you just pay it from this big piggy bank that you have, these millions of dollars you apparently have? Why don't you just pay out your people, and then when the situation gets resolved, you just keep it so that they get paid first, you get paid second? Why is that so hard?
If you guys were doing one thing for 50 grand a month and another thing was going to pay you 300, which one are you doing? You're doing the 300.
This summarizes the industry perfectly. You can make a really good income doing one-on-one, or you can scale your business if you become a coach who coaches coaches. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.